What would you say to Afeni Shakur today?
I mean, first of all, you know what I mean?
Okay, so right about here is where the sly smiling starts.
I mean, first of all, you know what I mean? I didn't kill Tupac Shakur.
When did you hear that Tupac was shot, and where did you hear it?
When I heard that Tupac was shot, when I was at home.
Now we have our first definite lie, because we've already established that home is somewhere in California and that he was in Las Vegas at the time.
Matter of fact, I was at home, like.
No, leave the line? Okay, strike that. All right.
And his attorney realizes it.
Strike that.
That's not a very good sign.
You know, he was like I was like a big fan of his. To me, he was like, I mean, when you say Tupac, he was like, you know what I'm saying, the Marvin Gaye rap to me.
I think it's highly likely that if nothing else, Orlando was incredibly involved in the murder of Tupac Shakur.
I'm gonna explain this one last time because it seemed like people forget the incident with Tupac, him being involved in the fight with Orlando, the chain incident, all that. I'm gonna just put 2 and 2 together so it can make sense. It ain't gonna be long, but look, when Tupac and Biggie had their situation and Puff, Tupac felt like that incident at the mall with Trayvon Lanes in Orlando and etc., they had a fight, a whole brawl. On that brawl, they tried to snatch Trayvon Lane's chain, but didn't snatch it. He felt like that had something to do with him because, y'all keep forgetting, Puff put a bounty on them death row chains. That's what a lot of people forget. And Tupac felt like, well, I feel like it got something to do with me because if I wasn't with death row, he wouldn't put no bounty on the death row chains. And that's when it would start getting serious. It was a death row Christmas party. Suge, Tupac, a lot of death row artists, etc. One of the Bad Boys' partners, Mark Anthony Bell, was there, and they end up approaching him. And that's when they confronted him that they heard that Puff, also known as Diddy, asking him that they heard about his mother staying around in the area. Asked, what's his mother's address? And that's when Diddy was shook. So, of course, he hired the Southside Crips, right, for protection. Suge and Diddy, yes, they had issues with each other. After Big Jake getting popped by Wolf, had been tension ever since. But it didn't get to the point where the Southside Crips was with Diddy. When Tupac got with Death Row, Diddy hired Southside Crips. And then he put the bounty on those chains. You see what I'm saying? So Tupac, the person he was, he felt like that had something to do with him. Next thing you know, Trey Lane and the gang, they seen Orlando and them, and they fought. And they tried to take his chain. They didn't even take his chain. They attempted to take it. And that's what a lot of other people would be mistaken, saying they took the chain. I even heard they saying they tried to take Tupac chain. No, that is incorrect. Tupac wasn't even on the scene. But when he got news, he felt like that had something to do with him. So going forward, it didn't get no better. As you see, Puff put a hit not only on Tupac, but on Suge Knight as well for $1 million. So when y'all see the MGM, y'all see Orlando is by himself. He not even with Keefy D or none of them that was in the Cadillac. He's by himself in the lobby. Like, make it make sense. Number one, they came to the fight. Number two, Lando ain't even watched the fight. He was just in the lobby. So what that tell you? This ain't no conspiracy or none of that. This is fact. They was there to do a job. So let's put it like this. If Tupac never punched Orlando, they was going to do something to him and Suge anyway. They was going to meet up at 66 Dudes, try to handle business what they was paid for. It's just a coincidence. Tupac punched him and that incident happened. He getting shot on the strip before they even get to 66 Dudes. So basically, by him hitting Orlando, they just did it early. Everybody was surrounding the Beamer where Tupac and Suge was in, and they got word. They did a U-turn, and they did what they did and shot him.
Eventually, we realized it was Suge and Tupac. Said, let me find out where Suge is going. And so we kind of stopped just like this, where they could interchange in a conversation. And that's when we realized when it happened. I think that nigga's dead. I don't want to use that word. The nigga, I think that nigga's dead. I was so angry
this is result of that anger shut me down to talk to them, because I knew at that point I can't talk to people.
So you got Mob James, you got everybody in these interviews, etc. There's so many names to name, but Mob James is one of the few saying if Tupac didn't put himself in Pyru business, in the mob business, he would still be alive. That's not true. Because once again, if Tupac didn't even put his hands on Lando, they was going to shoot him regardless. So for you people to keep saying Tupac getting himself in gang business, he didn't have nothing to do with that. No, it was going to happen anyway. They was there to do a job for that 1 million. Once they did that, Diddy did get the money up to Zip, but Zip never paid Keefe D. As years go by, Keefe D started doing interviews, doing books, and talking about it. Yes, Keefe D started putting false things in his stories to make it more interesting. It makes people on the other side confused, because now when y'all see interviews about Suge Knight talking about it, or Keefe D, or etc., y'all get confused. The whole deal was after the fight, everybody was going to 6'6" Deuce. So they was going to go to 6'6" Deuce and they was going to do their job. Point blank period. And that's not his first incident beating up people when he was with Death Row. It just don't be talked about a lot. And all my viewers, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like and comment. I got some good content, especially if you're a fan of Tupac, about the facts. In my opinion, if you want to hear the real story of all the details and everything that happened to Suge and Tupac and how was it playing, watch Murder Rap. That's the very first tape Keefe D was recording. He didn't know he was recording. This is way before interviews you see on YouTube and the book. This is way before that. This is first thorough story. And then after that, that's when he start making up lies and putting fake stuff in his book. And Suge, he be all over the place as well. He is getting older. He is locked up. You got an interview years ago on TMZ when he's saying Tupac's still alive, he in Cuba somewhere. Now all of a sudden he's saying Snoop and them got something to do with Tupac getting hit up. Then now all of a sudden he's saying Keefe D already approached him and told him that Diddy paid them to not only shoot him but Tupac as well. So he be all over the place. So I know a lot of people be confused. That whole situation is just weird because those were Southside Crips. Death Row is a blood affiliated mob, right? And you got Snoop, which he's a rolling 20. Then you got Corrupt, that's from Philly, is a rolling 60s. And then you got Daz, that's from Texas, is rolling 20s. You can tell Snoop and them not really deep in the trenches as far as being in it, because that was weird. Like, yes, y'all with the Bloods because it's a company, but then they in tour with Southside Crips and y'all have no say. So that tells you right there, Snoop and them wasn't even in it. And then people like BG Knockout that was affiliated in the Crips and Snoop and them, it's not really in it. It's just a persona. It's just to make his career deep. And then if you go back, when I said Tupac been himself, I explained this in other videos. Tupac fought the Rolling 60s for his homie Trek from Naughty by Nature. And Snoop and them ain't had no say-so, wasn't involved or nothing. Have y'all ever thought about that? It's weird. The circle is weird, but it really ain't gang politics. Tupac, the right-hand man, Big Sight, he was a Crip from IV Crip, which stands for Emperor Village Crip, which he was also with Thug Life. Tupac never got into a gang. He could have gotten into the Crips a long time ago. Tupac was just affiliated. He was just around dudes that was in the gang. And that's why y'all get confused thinking, yeah, Tupac, he's not a gangster. He wasn't. No, man. He was an artist. He was a man at the end of the day. He was real. It was about Death Row. He was signed with Death Row. And he gave loyalty back to Suge. It was that type of business. And like I said, he felt like it had something to do with him because he was now involved with Death Row. The infamous icon Tupac, he got shot right on Flamingo. This one Suge did a U-turn when they came on that white Cadillac, and the car ended up stopping like right here, but it was facing this way, the gas station. They was facing this way. Off of Colville and Flamingo.